My name is Lulu.
My name is William, and
This is How We Met.
How We Met. Bezario Mwanza.
Sife Mwanza.
We met in Dola.
Dola. Yeah, at the studio.
We came over to record some songs, and yeah, that's how we met. How We Met.
Hi, this is John Mumba.
Chile Shabwale Mumba. Well, we met at church 2013. It's an interesting story.
How We Met on Lifestyle.
Lord, you got me saying wow, wow. And now know how,
You start. I respect you
ladies
as a
first.
husband. Hi guys, my name is Lulu Wood. I'm his wife.
And my name is William Wood. I am her husband.
Yeah. How did we meet, love?
Interesting story. It was on a blind date, actually.
Yeah.
This is what, 5 years ago now? It's 5
No,
years? 9.
honey, 9 years ago.
No, it's marriage 5 years.
Yeah, marriage 5 years.
Relationship altogether 9 years, right?
Yeah, altogether 9 years.
Yes, so it was a blind date. And can you imagine my aunt all the way in the UK
Yeah.
hooked us up?
Can I tell the story in my version? Because I think my version is like juicier. Well, so his aunt met my mom and my cousin in the UK. And they were talking about Amazing Me. And then...
Like she's desperate to get married.
no, they did not say They did not say that. So... what they say, it was like they were just talking generally about me, and then I think I called them and we had a whole conversation, and then your aunt says, you know, from the way you guys are talking about this girl, like, and her personality, I think she'd make a great fit for my son, my nephew. She would make a great wife. Apparently those were her words, like I was perfect wife material. And then Mom came to me before you got my number. Mom came to me and like when she got back and she says, "Oh, there's a family that think you make a great wife." And I was like, not happening. My mom picking a guy for me, it's like the worst guy she could like. I didn't think she'd be
So at least
great.
now we can establish that your mom has got good taste. Eh?
We can establish that your aunt has good taste, and my mom thankfully listened because her choices still. I mean, she thought you were a good choice, then she realized what you really were.
But we're still here.
No, we're still here. I'm joking. Yeah, so that's how we met. They got my number finally after a month. I agreed, and then
Well, that is when I was working in Chipata.
in Chipata, yeah. So you got my number, and you didn't call.
Yeah, because I didn't want to seem too desperate, you know?
Oh.
Yeah, but you didn't even know me at that time anyway.
No, but I was
So you're
told
not-
to expect you to call.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you just waited.
It's
And waited.
a good.
I did actually, because funny story. I have a good friend. He was working at Barclays at the time. He was a manager there. So we had planned to come down to Lusaka for the weekend. And we're having a chat the night before. And he says, you know what, if you've got nothing to lose, give her a call, go and have lunch, date. Because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about dating. So it's like,
Yeah.
no, date, go have lunch, have a chat. And then you make your mind up afterwards. You don't owe anybody any explanations whether
Yeah.
it goes well or badly. And luckily it went well. So
And I'm glad both of us sort of had the same mindset. Like when you texted, when you called me, I thought he was boring. He sounded like a boring old colored man. And then we chatted a bit on the phone.
yeah.
And then he asked to say, listen, I'm coming into Lusaka. Like, what do you like to eat? Like, what's your vibe? And I said, surprise me. Because for me, where a guy took me in those days on a date told me a lot about him and how they understand me and my personality from the little they've talked. So you chose like the perfect place.
Yes, sir.
And I drove in and I remember walking in and spotting like there was a really handsome guy on the side, and I'm like in my head I'm like, that's a handsome man. And I kept walking, and then the handsome man was like, Luyando. And it was him. He wasn't a boring old colored man.
You see? First impression. I think from the time we sat down and had a chat, I realized that she's very confident. She knew what she wanted from the beginning, whether you had a boyfriend or not. I think you anyway, even up to now. You're very focused on what you want. So that was what actually kept me there for a long time. Because I was just thinking that she might be one of these very shy girls or whatever it was. But we know that Lulu's got talk time. So we spent the next 2.5 hours having dinner. And actually, no, just genuinely enjoying each other's company.
Yeah.
So it was good, yeah. So I said, yeah, first impressions, go get her, very confident. So I was happy with that. Funny story. I was in Chipata, as I said. So I went back to Chipata. And then she was like, she had this notion of like, oh, I can't travel on a bus. You have to fly me down.
I mean, I had standards.
2 weeks later, Johabi,
Listen,
bus
I still had standards.
to Chipata.
But the conversations were going so well. No, but baby, remember, it was like we had the first date, then you went to Chipata, then you came back again and asked me to be your girlfriend.
They come back again.
Yes, you came back for Christmas. I mean, like after Christmas, you came back. So we met in November. Then you came after Christmas. That's why your mom did the whole like late Christmas dinner thing that you invited me to.
Oh, right.
Okay, so men forget. Let me tell you guys what happened. So he went
No,
back
let's
Okay, we'll
talk
come
about
back.
your humbling of aircrafts and
Okay,
buses.
we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. But so he went and then came back again. And when he came back after a month, that was our second time meeting. And he asked me to be his girlfriend, which was like, wow. And I think a lot of times these days, guys don't ask. But he asked me to be his girlfriend.
Oh, that's
And
something you were taught early. You have to ask, isn't it?
yeah, and then also that's the first time you met Asante.
Oh, yeah.
So
that was-
before you took me to that date, you met Asa. That time Asa was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
So I was
even
a
from-
single mom.
Even from the batch you told me you had.
Yes, I told you like first
Asante
date we
and
talked like very openly about who we were, what we were, and I told you that I was a single mom. You met Asa and treated her like you had known her all your life. I thought that was like the cutest thing, and it was a no-brainer that I would say yes. Like, because I think I knew you and I had a chemistry, but when I saw you with her, I was just like, wow.
So
yeah,
now I've
so
taken over. We're best friends. The
Yeah,
mother has been put to the
I've
side.
been put to the side. But so fast forward to that, you left, and then I had given him my whole standards flights thing, but I missed him so much. We were having such great conversations. So I said, I'll show him how much I think, like how special I think he is. And I didn't lower my standards. I just took a different alternative.
Close to a year?
No, baby, 3
Was it?
years.
No, 3 years. Was it
Yes.
3 years?
Yes.
No.
Honey, we dated 3 years before you asked to marry me.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How come I don't remember those 3 years? I thought it was like a year. It was very...
It was so amazing,
It was
right?
quick.
Like it
Are you
was
sure
so
it was a
amazing
year?
dating me
Yes.
that you thought it was such a short time. Honey, we met in 2013,
Uh-huh. And we got married in what?
2016.
You know what? I think, to be honest, it's the distance involved. I was in Chipata,
Yeah.
and it was very, very busy. So I would only get away from work, I think, twice a year, if I was even lucky, because of
Yeah.
being in hospitality.
I
Plus the hotel was
visited
quite
more.
new. Yeah.
I visited more, and I think we understood that because we were long distance, we needed to have enough time to get to know each other. So there was no rush per se in us getting married. We really had told ourselves, I think from the onset, that we are very serious about each other. And I think even the way you asked me out, you said, can you be my girlfriend, and let's see whether it can develop into something more, because I see the potential for that. So from the onset, I think both of us were very honest with each other about where the relationship was headed. And we understood that we lived so far from each other, and we wanted to get to know each other and enjoy ourselves. Oh my goodness, we enjoyed our courtship though. Like, we
That
had
was
so
actually
much fun.
lots of fun. Yeah. This engagement story. I actually...
Can I go with it?
Huh? No, she asked me. So let me go first, then you can say your part of the story.
Okay.
So engagement was very, very funny. I only actually popped the question at her kitchen party. Can you imagine that? But I already knew what we wanted. Well, I knew what I wanted anyway. So only popped the question at the actual kitchen party.
Which means he never really asked me. I think he owes me like another proposal, because this is how he asked me. This is how I was told I'm getting married. My people are coming to your people next week. And I said, I'm sorry, what? He says, yeah, my people are coming to your people. And I'm like, are you saying what I think you're saying? He says, yeah, my people are coming to your people. And then his people came to my people. And I think it was happening so fast. And I remember, when they come to do lobola, I was told that they'll come and just talk about it. Then later you come and pay, then I'm officially your wife. So my cousin walks into the room and she's all ululating. Oh, it's done. And I'm like, oh, okay. So when are they coming back to pay? And she's like, he's paid. I've never been so mad in my life. I was so upset. I started crying. I felt he had not respected. No, I felt you didn't respect me enough to ask me properly and give me time. Like, I needed to enjoy myself a bit more as a single woman and like feel the euphoria of you getting on your knees and surprising me like the movies. But instead, you just told me you're coming, and
but
then
even the actual one was like
paid immediately. Like, you didn't even give me time.
What for?
Oh, you
would have
me
stopped
that
us from
much.
coming to negotiate if you didn't want it.
No, I mean, I wanted it.
Yes,
But
yes.
anyways, when he did it at the kitchen party, it was still really special. I still cried.
Yeah, that was actually quite nice.
Yeah, I cried so hard. Oh, so finding my dress for the wedding was really easy. I knew I didn't want to spend more than, at the time, I think the dollar was at 8 or something.
So it was a good
Yeah,
rate.
I told myself I do not want to spend more than 10,000 kwacha on a dress. And I wanted 2 different dresses, so I had to make a quick plan. I found out there was this designer in South Africa, and when I got in touch with her, she was still starting out at the time. So don't go to her now and get a 10,000 kwacha dress. It just won't happen. But because she was still starting out, I managed to get a dress designed that was a 2-in-1.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so in 10,000 kwacha, I think I even paid for my ticket to go to South Africa and get my 2-in-1 dress. And so it was really easy. Yeah, so it wasn't too hard. I was not too fussy about the type of dress I wanted. I really wanted to just look simple.
I mean, also you being in the industry, those are people who you had worked with before, so to speak.
No, not Lauren. I hadn't worked with her before. I just found her online.
How is it?
Yeah, and for your suits, like, you just bought them from the UK.
Yeah,
It was much cheaper.
We were very, very cost effective as the guys, as per usual.
No, the girls are cost effective too. Yeah, no, Lauren made dresses for the girls also, and it
Your
was
dress
so
probably
cheap.
paid for like 5 suits.
Next question.
Feeling, it was quite emotional. I think that's probably one of the times if I was quite emotional. When I said, when I was getting you from your dad,
Yeah.
like, oh dad, I've got it from you. So that was quite touching actually. She looked beautiful in that dress. So very emotional there. And the dance as well with my daughter on that day.
Yeah, you got emotional on those two. But he didn't cry. I've never seen him cry tears, but he was quite emotional in those 2 moments on our wedding day. I was so happy. I couldn't believe it was happening. And I remember my dad kept on talking to me the whole time as we were walking down there. I was like, this is really happening. Lulu, you are getting married. I'm like, Dad, imagine that. And look at him, he looks so handsome.
That's why you guys took forever to come down.
Yeah, no, we were chatting. It was a full-on conversation with Dad. And we were like, we'll take our time. He's like, you're the queen today. And I'm like, yes, Daddy.
I was looking, that day it was Man City versus
Walk
Manchester
slow.
United.
Yeah, and you came late. So for the wedding, I was earlier than the groom.
But by like 5 minutes.
William, it doesn't matter. A bride never gets to church earlier than a groom. It's like I'm supposed to take time with makeup or something like that. I'm the diva on the day.
Really?
Yeah.
think it was what
We had a
the rights deal to Vodafone. Was it
yeah,
Vodafone?
we had a rights deal with Vodafone, but we also, so funny story actually, we had 2 weddings. Our first wedding was a few months earlier. That one, no one has ever seen anything online. We really wanted it to be about
Yeah,
us.
that is at the farm.
And it was 40 people only. It was the simplest setup, but that actually is my favorite wedding. But then our parents wanted something big. And William convinced me to say, no, I did not want something big. I did not want that. I already had my wedding, if he can be very honest with you. But then we finally did it.
Which woman doesn't want a white wedding?
Me, I was thinking we would buy an expensive car with the money we spent.
Really?
Yeah. Because we paid our own wedding.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so we sort of had the small wedding for 40 people, and then we saved for the bigger wedding because we didn't want to go into debt or be so stressed about it.
You're quite organized.
Yeah, we were. Oh, okay. So the first one was extremely private. It's never been out. But the second one, we wanted to also just enjoy the day with no pictures on social media or anything.
Well, look, I
so
mean, everybody
all our guests
did their
really
part,
did their part.
Yeah.
No one leaked a picture or a video until 2 days later.
Yeah.
So we had enough time to just enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
And many people then just put down their phones and just enjoyed, like our wedding was a party.
It was a party.
Oh, it was such a party.
For me, I've always loved cooking since we were a kid. I think we come from a family of a lot of cooks, so to speak. Learned from mom first and then my elder sister. So those are my first early influences for cooking. And I just like the way my food tasted also.
Yeah. You really love the way your food tastes. He does.
No, I mean,
No,
now
you
it's,
do.
yeah.
Like, it's true. He loves how his food tastes. But I think when we started dating, one of the things I realized quickly is I've always loved food. But I feel like we ate very different food from like growing up. We were vegetarian for the longest time, so the vegetarian cuisine I know, but I didn't explore like so much of cooking, but I knew I loved cooking and I loved good food. So on our first date, I remember asking him, what's your favorite food? And you're like, carbonara. And I was like, okay. So I got my phone out. I was trying to act like the conversation was still going. I Googled and I was like, okay. Then when you took me also to the farm to your parents, because on our second date, the next day he took me to his parents, his family. He introduced me to his family on the second date, like, which is different for a Zambian couple, different from what I was used to. The food there also made me understand like the food culture you came from. So I think once we got married, I was on a challenge to say I want to cook better than him. So during dating, yes, I didn't cook for you at all. He cooked for me.
Well, there was lots of takeout as well.
Yeah, lots of takeout. But we enjoyed cooking together in the kitchen, like doing stuff together. So that's where the passion really came from.
I think before, when we all had our different jobs, we were obviously apart professionally.
A lot.
But then now we do everything together.
Yeah.
But it's something that we've also made quite purposeful, is whether I'm with the guys or she's with the girls in the evening, we always link up.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah, it's something we do. I think we decided our marriage, we've been purposeful. I'm glad that you brought that up because we found that a lot of married couples would spend time apart. So you go out with the boys and out with the girls. We would do that, but we intentionally come back together. And then now with working together, it's a totally new, different world. We are learning each other from a different light, and normally you don't get to see that about your partner, but now working together, I think I've learned about certain strengths you had that I didn't know you had, and weaknesses, and then you've also learned the same. My weaknesses and my strengths in business, I freak out. Legendarily freaking, like the English, legendary freak outs. But anyway, so we've learned how to work together. So we are together a lot now, but we also understand that working together means we need to find the balance of then remembering to be best friends and lovers.
Oh, yeah, true. For me, I don't even pay attention to it, to be honest.
You're trying these days.
Now, yes,
You're
it's
not
a bit
walking
more
away from people
in
the
your
way you used to
face.
in the past.
But before, I mean, I've always been quite private, so to speak. So I didn't pay much attention to it. But now, sometimes, obviously, if it comes with the business, definitely it's nice when somebody actually recognizes what you are doing. And from that kind of perspective, it's actually nice when people say, oh, no, you guys are actually influencing us.
Yeah.
So now it's a bit more like, oh, fine. People actually see the good or the quality in what we're doing. And so it's nice to be given a pat on the back and saying, oh, you're doing a good job. And I think that side of things, it is rewarding in that regard.
And we try also to create certain boundaries. I mean, we understand the temptations that come to a marriage because you are known. So whether it's girls hitting on him or guys hitting on me, we've learned to set boundaries and have honest conversations around that. But also, in as much as we are public, we're also very private. We only share what we want to share, and there are parts of us that no one really ever knows, and we are happy that we can sort of achieve that and have something that's just for us. So we are also glad that people respect that there are certain parts of us that are private.
Oof, I'm the silent, angry type. And she's the one who
Picture
wants
no
to
sound.
talk
Mr.
the
Picture
time.
no sound.
But I mean, over the years, we've learned how to deal with each other.
Yeah.
So sometimes I say, okay, give me a couple of minutes. I will come back to you and we can discuss this. And then she's like, no, I want to talk about it now. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it, but I'm just going to listen.
Yeah.
And
That's
let
different.
her do what she needs to do.
Yeah, but I think let's be also honest on the part that both of us have grown.
Yeah, true. That's what I'm saying. That
initially,
we've all
yeah.
grown quite a bit.
Initially, I would be screaming on top of my voice. Then he would go quiet for a week. And it was terrible. We did not know how to communicate with each other. And we did not understand each other's love languages, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And so we've had to learn over the last 5 years how to communicate. We used to sweep a lot of things under the rug because, he doesn't want to talk, so I'm not going to talk also.
And then it blows up in another
but
way.
we've grown, we've grown.
Oof, I appreciate that she's a go-getter. I appreciate that she's a mom. So, as I said, and she also pushes me to some extent. Because sometimes I'm just like, you know what, do we really have to do this? Or do we really have to go there? And then she's like, no, you'll see the benefit in it. And I think 80% of the time, we'll walk out of, whether it was another meeting or a different kind of social circle that we've been thrust into. And then you see a lot of benefit with it. So she does push me quite a bit as well.
I appreciate the love that he gives me. This man loves me in his own special way. Like, don't look out for it in like big romantic gestures. No, that's not him. But how he loves me, how he loves our children, how he's so responsible. Like, he's the man of the house, and I honor and respect you for that, because you truly handle everything, for us, and you're so passionate about making sure that we as a family have an amazing experience of what family should be. You've made us take risks that are, like moving into a cottage.
They do. And I think it's just about taking a chance at the end of the day, to be honest. Because had we been stuck in our own ways, who knows what would have happened by now. Yeah. So I think there is obviously love. Because even for us, I mean, we got married, when we were 33, 32?
Yeah.
Which is
a bit older than all our friends, actually.
So I think there's a lot of, you just have to take a chance. Yeah.
And also date.
Exactly.
I think we didn't get into the relationship thinking it has to work. We were very open to the fact that it could work, it might not work, but let's give it our all and see what happens from there. Because sometimes we have noticed that people sort of jump into a relationship because I'm just so desperate to get married and it has to happen now, and they don't give each other time to truly get to know each other and ask each other the real hard questions that you should ask each other before you get married. And people don't understand the institution of marriage. So we say take your time to date, take your time, also be open to people asking you to meet someone else. And it's sometimes it's because they've seen certain personality traits that would gel with the other person. So be open to that. You just never know where love will come from. Truly, this was God leading for us.
It was.
We might have never met if we had not been hooked up. Our lives were so I don't even know. How would we have met?
I don't even know.
I don't know. I don't think it would have happened.
Yeah, but take a chance. You never know.
Yeah. My name is Lulu.
My name is William, and
This is how we met.